Hey
Hey,
world! Welcome to Dragon Fairy History Podcast. I am your host, Elijah, and this is my co-host,
Mary.
and this is our very special guest.
Mia, hi.
Hey!
Yay.
Fun fact about me is last night I was doing the chicken dance.
And my fun fact, I was also doing the chicken dance last night.
My fun fact is that I just heard about the chicken dance story.
Wow.
Anyways, the topic of this episode today is Hijras. A brief overview on what Hijras means for those who don't know is it is basically a cultural identity in India or maybe like around India too, uh, that is basically defined as a third gender, or maybe transgender folks or intersex people. There's different interpretations of it, and so that's basically what this will be about. And the history, there's a lot of history on it, and so uh, it all kind of. I'm gonna like first talk about old roots to Hinduism, which is a very old ancient religion. And there is a story um, about the god Shiva and his wife Parvati merging together to become an androgynous I don't know how to say it. I'm gonna try my best. Ardhanari form. The form was where Shiva and Parvati combine into one. And it was a big oh, am I saying a big thing? Okay, what I'm trying to say is uh it symbolized the balance and unity of masculine and feminine energy. And uh it shows the concept of Ardhanari hold on, Ardhanarishvara, which means half man, half woman. And this is even today still a symbol of hijras, and uh like they a lot of people in that community relate to the Ardhanari form. And so that's like the Hinduistic roots of it. And the actual history of the people kind of begins in the Mughal era, which goes from like 1526 to 1857, where hijras were a big part of the royal court and nobility too. They were very important for religious ceremonies and doing blessings, and they would often be involved in.
Oh,
Oh, of course, yes.
yes.
Sorry, I wasn't looking.
Pick me, sir, pick me.
I
Okay,
picked you, Pokemon.
thank you.
I choose.
so,
Yes.
so the Hijra is like an umbrella terminology. So it encompasses like transgender people, intersex people, and it also encompasses the terminology of people who are eunuchs. Eunuch is like um, it's like a term for people who are assigned male at birth, who are then or like perform femininely or like cross dress in a way, and then are castrated. So
You don't have to
not
stick
sure
around.
that's
You can just say it. You
I
say
just have to, I'm
you're
sorry.
castrated.
Yeah, so the people who you're talking about in like the Mughal Empire who are actually a part of the hierarchy over there, those people are considered eunuchs. And the reason why they were castrated and forced to dress in such a feminine way was that um it was like rumored that they wanted to be like, I don't know, more like easy to like not be intimidating or whatever. So there was that kind of social scheme going on over there during that time. So the more
Interesting.
you know.
That is
Yeah.
interesting. See, I did not know that.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you. I like the insight. I like the insight. You don't have to bow.
I'll go if I want to.
Okay, yeah. You know what? I'm not gonna police you.
Put it out there.
Yeah, you deserve all the honor in the world. Yeah. Yeah, but like the main idea is the people were very important in nobility and military, and they would like often even command armies. They would be blessing things in religious ceremonies, and they would even be court dancers, and they were just very socially and politically influential. And this all changed. I think, I mean, as history goes, it all changed when the British came and they took. Oh,
Hijra.
oh, oh my God, guys, get your heads out of the gutter. I'm gonna phrase it differently.
No, my laughing was because everything is screwed when British people come over. It's like
That is
that's like kind of thing. It's just like the moment that they arrive on the beaches or up the shores, your entire life is kind of like ruined. So
Yeah.
I was laughing.
Okay.
My first thought was America, and then my second thought.
But yeah, and it's not just when British come over, it's when like anyone from Europe
It's just Europeans in
it's just
general.
European.
trend goes. As the trend goes.
Yeah.
The trench coat?
No, trend goes.
As the trend goes.
TREND space goes.
Oh.
Not trench coat.
As the trench coat.
That's
That's the trench coat.
I'm so confused. Oh. But anyways, the British invaded.
Invaded what? Like
Oh my God. No, that's funny. That's actually funny. Oh my God.
Yeah, what are you gonna change this to?
What?
What did the British do?
The British invaded.
invaded what?
The British invaded India in 1858. There you go. I just wanted to get that across. Took forever to get across that. But anyways, when the British invaded, that's when life for the Hijras changed drastically, and not in a good way either. Because obviously, you know, Europeans have strong religious morals, um, which has very strong traditional gender roles for men and women. And so when the British kind of saw the Hijras, they kind of were disturbed, and they had like basically I describe it as moral outrage against that, and they were just very against Hijra gender expression and sexuality, and so and they thought they were a gender. They thought they were a gender. That's true. They thought.
Well, I guess they did.
I guess they did, but they thought they were a danger to colonial rule. So they passed okay, yes.
What exactly does gender have to do with being a danger to colonial rule? It's what I'd like to
The way you asked that was
really.
so funny. You're just like it's so funny though.
You did a little like shimmy in place.
Yeah, you did a shimmy. It was just you literally like, oh, how did it? It's
What does gender have to do with it?
what does gender have to do with
I thought you were like making fun of him for a second.
Oh, it really did. It really felt like a little slighted by that.
No, that was not. That wasn't at you. That was at the British.
Okay, the British.
He's
So
shimmying at the British guys. Okay, the shimmy was meant for the British.
okay. Because like if you like what I said before, like during the Mughal era, the Hijras were very influential and they were very powerful, and so in order for the British to instill their rule, uh they had to get Hijras out of the way from that,
Oh, they were
because
too powerful?
yeah, and also they just were against what British believed was traditional and morally right by God.
I know, right?
Yeah, we love those religious morals.
Oh, yeah.
So in 1871, the British passed a Criminal Tribes Act, which criminalized the Hijras. And it wasn't just the British that could make this happen. It was a combination of the British invading. I'm very careful about what I'm saying now. So it was a combination of the British invading, and also there were elite Indians who were also against Hijras. Um, they just had negative attitudes towards them, and so it was just a combination of that that led to the Criminal Tribes Act.
Don't mind me, I'm just eating Cheetos.
That's so real.
That is so real.
Mary, I'd give you some, but wait, do you like one?
Oh my gosh, yes.
What's it? Is it delicious?
Just as good as I remember.
That's great.
A little tangy.
Tangy. Tangy. I think they're supposed to be spicy.
Oh yeah, I'm getting that now too.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Anyways, to keep myself from yapping too much, do you guys have any comments or questions on what I've just gone over?
No, Mr. Cook Gilbert. Thank you for
Oh my god.
Thanks for the lesson, Mr. Gilbert. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
What about you, Mary?
What she said.
Okay, well, I'm very glad you children understand this very important history lesson. What does your shirt say, Mary?
Mia?
Mia.
It says East Coast because she's on the East Coast.
I saw Exam Coast. I was like,
Good
exam?
critical thinking, Mary. Good critical thinking. She's so smart. She's like, oh my god, it says East Coast because she lives on the East Coast.
That's so really, wow, that's crazy. That makes a lot of sense now that I think about it. That is
She got it on the East Coast.
'cause she's on the East Coast. Wow, okay. I'm so glad you've joined us, Mia. It's fun having you here.
It's significantly more.
It is. This is what I'm worried about. No, it's fun.
You guys love me. You guys love having me here yapping the whole time.
Yeah. The next thing I was gonna talk about is current day, because history is all about comparing the past to the present. Because of the effects of the British colonial rule on the Hijras, it leads to like very bad treatment for them today. Like examples like harassment, denial of healthcare, like abuse, and like not really any rights. And it has changed in the recent years. In 2014, the Supreme Court of India declared transgender people as third gender, which,
Is that good?
I mean, good that they're
Oh
recognized,
yes.
but also like, I don't know, not all transgender people are third.
Yes, that's why I was at first I was like,
You're like,
oh, I was
yay!
like,
Oh,
minute.
wait a second.
Like, wait, it's
Yeah. Honestly, like okay. Here's my little like spiel, what I can gather. It's like India, it's like they don't understand like a lot of or I hate to like generalize, but it's like
Okay,
I
we
thought-
can.
people tend not to understand the nuances of a gender identity, and they're not going to try. There's a lot of like the mental roadblock in which this stuff. So even though there is a recognized third gender, they're not treated properly at all. And there's a lot of like social stigma regarding that. There's a massive like mental roadblock, and I think that there's also like there's just like the massive like othering of people who are of third gender, intersex, whatever. So, and I also think that's like because like hijras in general have been treated so poorly that they are angry and tend to lash out in the opposite way. So more lore, my mom actually, she grew up in India for like, I think she lived there until she was 26. So sorry, maybe a little earlier, whatever. Point is that she was going to work and taking the bus, and there was somebody who was like either like a cross-dresser or something like that, and that person flashed her, right? So there was like this big like massive tension. So it's like there's also like just like kind of like revolts and riots and stuff like that, and it doesn't really get covered a lot because people have just really decided to push others down like that. There's just a lot of shitty stuff going on, but because they see them as less than and less than human in general, so they won't give them the time of day, which is pretty crappy. But until their mindset changes, that treatment won't change.
And that's honestly, that really goes for like a big majority of the world.
Yeah,
Like,
honestly.
that's kind of like the biggest, I think like the biggest thing with like trans rights is like people just don't want to learn, like they don't really care much about like understanding, you know?
Yeah, they just like see like those like off like cases where there's like somebody like a trans person like doing something wrong and it gets posted everywhere and then everybody generalizes
Yeah, and
that
it's
like
like that's
everybody's like
just
that.
one case out of like thousands.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of how it just happens and how it happens, that's just how it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, some other more recent things happening is in 2018, homosexuality was decriminalized. So that's
Progress.
progress, that's good. And and then the following year, Transgender Persons Act, which was meant to provide legal protection for transgender people. I just thought fun fact was like the meaning of the word Hijra, actually it means to leave one's tribe. And I just thought that was an interesting meaning, because an
That's cool.
interesting way of looking at the community, the Hijra community, of leaving one's tribe is like leaving one's gender
Yeah.
and going to another. Uh,
Huh.
yeah. And also another thing that I was like, I don't know where to put this, but another thing I found out was they're celebrated in sacred texts such as Mahabharata and Kama Sutra, which I think are pretty famous Hindu texts. I don't know,
The Kamara is
Kama Sutra is
yeah, hold on.
Kama means love.
I don't want to say something wrong, but
Yeah, I mean, well, I know that Kama means love.
Kamala?
Not what? No, no, comma.
Oh,
Not
I was like,
Kamala.
Kamala.
Not Kamala Harris.
I was like, wait.
woo, Kamala.
No, but comma.
So it's yeah, okay, I was correct about the Kama Sutra. It's basically it's a
Oh, okay. Take your time. Take your time.
it's according to Wikipedia, it is an ancient Indian Hindu Sanskrit text on sexuality, eroticism, and emotional fulfillment, but it is mostly predominantly revolving around No time. Okay.
Okay.
What?
No.
No time.
Well, see, I knew Kama was about love, so means love, so I knew like the Kama Sutra was something about sexuality and intimacy. Um, and I know the Mahabharata is, I think, an epic poem. I think it was like, yeah, it's like Mahabharata and Ramayana that are like the two epic poems from India that
Oh,
have,
they're called epic poems?
yeah, when you
Symmetry,
Google them, they say epic poems.
Oh, that's cool.
Smriti, and
I was like, he's talking.
epic.
There's some
I've just
epic poems.
I've read them and personally they're
Other
epic. They're just epic poems. No. No. Like, have you ever heard of epic poems?
I'm a STEM major.
Yeah, I forgot about. Okay, well, epic poems is basically like a really, really long poem. Like a poem
yeah,
that's just a whole book.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah. It basically, I think it connects to the Bhagavad Gita, which is actually something. It's like I wouldn't say it's like a manual, but it's like a path to like understanding like a good way to live life. It's not necessarily like spiritual or religious, but it's like regarding how you should live your life, the goals of life, etc., etc. So the more you know.
Wow.
Yeah. My mom actually, she has this class that's dedicated to understanding and reading the scriptures of the Bhagavad Gita. So the more you know.
Wow,
Oh,
that's
so cool.
pretty cool. That sounds like a fun class, actually. Oh, God.
Yeah, it's quite enlightening actually. I think honestly, it's kind of interesting to see how she involves it in her day-to-day life. So
Cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
yeah.
But the last thing I had was kind of just like like a I don't know what was happening.
Don't know either.
A conclusionary statement that even though there are now laws, I kind of think that there are laws like tolerating transgender people more than like kind of helping them in life.
Yeah.
There are still negative attitudes just in general around the world about like non-traditional genders, like the third gender or like, in between or non-binary. And so yeah, that was kind of just my basic summary of that. Hope you guys enjoyed this podcast episode. Comment below what else you'd like us to talk about. Good.
Goodbye.